Hey guys, what's happening, and welcome to this class where we're going to be working on length into the side of the body. So we're going to work on areas such as the lats, even into the backs of the shoulders, so we can start to really get a good side bend, good reach into the body. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to this channel by hitting the button below. You can also click the bell so you get notified of any new videos coming your way. All you're going to need for this class is your mat, and you may also need some blocks. If you don't have blocks, something like a stack of books that just sits a little bit higher off the ground. But when you're ready, I'll meet you on your mat. So to begin with, I've got a couple of blocks here that I'm just going to use to sit on. If you don't have blocks, then something like some pillows, maybe like a stack of books might be better for you. So just taking a seat on the blocks. The reason I do this is just because it allows your hips to sit a little bit higher. It makes sitting down on the floor a little bit easier. You can have the knees just slightly below the hips. If you want to sit on top of the shins, then feel free to do that. But here, you've just got the hips a little bit elevated. You're just a little bit higher off the ground, and it tilts the pelvis forward, so it's just a little bit easier to sit. From here, you're going to take your left hand just to the outside of the body. So just leaning over onto the left side, reach the right arm up over to the side bend over to the right. And we're just going to be working through the side of the body where we're going to take a few rounds of breath in each one, just really working into length on each side. So really reaching through the right arm, drawing down on the right hip, lengthening through the right side of the body as much as you feel you can get out of it. Switch it out, bring the right hand down the outside of the right hip, and then reach through the left hand, reaching up through the fingertips at the same time, drawing down on the left hip down towards the floor. So that left hip's kind of grounding down to the floor. So you've got this pulling action up through the left fingertips and then down with the left hip. Take a nice deep inhale, feel the body just expand, become a little bit taller. And then exhale, lengthen through that left side just a little bit more. Come back to center. We're just going to take a nice gentle twist before we get going. Always like working into the back. So we're going to take the right hand to the outside of the left knee, lengthen through the body, inhale. So we take a nice deep breath in, lengthening through the spine, and then exhale, twist to the left. Every time you inhale, just lengthen through the spine a little bit more. Exhale, twist a little bit more to the left. Undo that, switch it out to the other side. We're going to take left hand outside the right knee. Right hand comes behind you. Inhale, lift through the chest, lift through the body. Exhale, twist to the right. One more time, inhaling, lengthening through the body. Exhale, twist. Every time I give a cue to breathe, you don't have to be doing it exactly the way that I'm doing it. I'm going to take long, deep breaths. If you're breathing is a little bit shallower, try make it as long as exhale as you possibly can. When we breathe, when we exhale longer than our inhale, it really allows the body to relax. So when you're in a pose, just thinking about taking a longer exhale than you are inhale. But if you have to take more breaths to what I'm cueing, feel free to do that. We're going to remove the blocks from underneath us and get going. So we're going to take the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, find all four position, and then tucking the toes under, lift the hips up and back to find downward dog. So from here, just pedaling through the feet to begin with, pressing into the arms, lengthening through the sides, lifting the hips up, draw the heels down towards the floor, maybe taking a bend into the knees if you feel like the hamstrings are really tight, because here we're looking for as much length in the side of the body as we can. So pressing into the inner knuckles of the hands, so the index fingers knuckle on each hand, that's where we're pressing into. So really pressing down into the hand through that index knuckle and then pressing our way to as much length as we can get through the side of our body. Just a few rounds of breath here. Inhaling through the nose, out through the nose. If that's too difficult, if you feel like you're getting a little bit bunged up, take an inhale through the nose, out through the mouth. From here, we're going to allow the heels to drop out to the left. So you're going to fall to the inside of the right foot and the outside of the left foot, lifting the hips up, finding a little bit more length through the right side of the body. Keep pressing into the arms, lift the hips up and back, just on the outside edges of these feet. So we're on the inside edge of the right foot, outside edge of the left foot. Heels come back through center, switch it out the other side. So outside edge of the right foot, inside edge of the left foot, press through the arms, lift the hips up and back. Deep breaths. Bring the heels back through center. Press through the arms, lengthen through the body. Lower the knees down towards the ground. Give the arms a little bit of a shake if you need to. We're going to just change up that downward dog just very slightly. So usually our hands are about shoulder width distance, what's a little bit comfortable for us. But with this time, we're going to bring them a little bit closer. So the way I like to think about it is just if you have your hands out in front of you, your thumbs are going to be touching. So literally that distance of your hands away, we're going to press into a downward dog there. If you want to bring the hands a little bit closer, feel free. You can kind of play around with it. If you're really restricted in the shoulders, go as close as you can get to and try to work towards the thumbs coming together. So you're going to go back to an all four position, place the hands on the floor, thumbs are just touching, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back. So it's this really close-handed downward dog, and from here you can take a bend into the knees, press into the hands again, into that inner knuckle, the index knuckle, and both hands lengthening through the sides. Just 3 rounds of breath here. Exhale. Inhale. Lengthen through the body. Exhale. Chest sinks down towards the mat. Inhale. Lengthen. Exhale. Chest sinks down towards the mat. Lowering the knees down towards the ground. Give the arms a shake again. This time finding all fours, we're going to step the right foot in between the hands. So we're finding this low lunge position, sinking the hips forward and down. Rise up into this low lunge. So as you sink the hips down towards the floor, we're going to take the right hand down towards the mat. So reaching the right fingertips down towards the mat, but reaching up with the left hand, and just a gentle side bend over to the right. So lengthening through this left side, lifting the chest, and then exhale, reach through that left hand just a little bit more, maybe side bend a little bit more to the right. Inhale, lift through the left arm. Exhale, side bend just a little bit more. Come back to center. Bring the hands down towards the floor. You might want to bring the blocks in here if you want. They're just an extra option for you. So keeping the right hand on the inside of the right foot. So on top of the blocks, if you don't need the blocks, you can kind of take them down to a lower level, but I'll show with the blocks. Tucking the back toes under, lifting the left heel away from, so the left knee comes away from the ground, the left heel drops towards the floor, reaching the left arm up towards the sky and overhead, creating this long shape all the way from the left heel towards the left fingertips. Rolling the left shoulder just a little bit further open towards the ceiling. And here, you're probably feeling a little bit into the right hip as well, but really lengthening through that left side as much as you can get to. Just a couple rounds of breath here. From here, we're going to reach back with the left arm and come up through this warrior two and reach up towards the sky with the right arm. The left hand slides down the back leg, sinking into the right knee just a little bit more, making sure the right knee tracks over the right toes. Reach through the right fingertips. Just a little bit of length through this right side. Windmill the arms forward, remove the blocks, move them over to the side, hands come down towards the floor, step back, lift the hips up and back. Just this normal down dog, maybe pedal through the feet, maybe drop the heels out from side to side. Feel free to just move around. There's no right or wrong way. If you kind of want to move the body, take a break, feel free to do so. Lower the knees, step the left foot in between the hands this time, sinking the hips forward and down, rising up to this low lunge. So sink the hips forward and down, left hand comes down towards the floor, reach up through the right arm, side bend over to the right, just a little bit more through the right arm. Inhale, lift the chest, feel yourself become a little bit taller. Then you can maybe sink the hips forward and down as you reach through that right side. Bring the right hand back down towards the floor. Blocks come back in. So this time the left hand to the inside the left foot, tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee off the ground, drop the right heel towards the floor, right arm reaches up towards the sky as you twist towards the long edge of your mat on the right side, and then slowly reach the right arm overhead, creating that long shape all the way from the right heel, one long line, all the way from the right heel to the right fingertips. Hold here. Reach back with the right hand towards the back right heel, and then slowly the left arm comes up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, sinking into the left hip, reaching through that left side just a little bit more. Pressing into the left heel, making sure that left knee tracks over the left big toe. Just a few rounds of breath here. Windmill the arms forward, remove the blocks to the side. Hands come down towards the floor, step the left foot back. Fighting downward dog, reach through the arms. Maybe feel a little bit of difference in the arms and the sides from when you began. Take a bend into the knees, straighten. A few rounds of deep breath here. Keep pressing into the inner knuckles of the hands. Press the arms. Allow the chest to sink towards the mat. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time. Lower the knees down towards the ground. Come back to all fours. So here, working into the lat, we're going to work this kind of modified child's pose position. So left hand stays on the floor. You're going to reach the right arm out towards the top edge of the mat as if you're shaking someone's hand, and allow that right forearm to just fall towards the ground. This left hand's just here for a bit of stability as we sink the chest back. So we're taking the right armpit down towards the floor, sinking the chest back, and just allowing the chest to work its way down towards the floor, keeping the thumb facing up, holding here. We're going to be here for just a few rounds of breath, taking nice long deep breaths, really working on your exhale longer than your inhale. Bring the shoulders forward. We're going to switch it straight out. Left arm comes out in front, so left forearm's on the floor, right hand's just here to support. Sink the left armpit down towards the mat, thumb facing up. Slowly bring the left shoulder forward. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. This time sinking back towards a child's pose, reaching the arms forward. So reaching both arms as much as you can, forehead rests on the floor. Taking a few deep breaths here. Allow the right hand to just walk over towards the left hand, to sit on top. Or maybe even it crosses over, just sinking the chest down towards the mat. Walk the right hand back to where it began, through center, and then the left comes over on top of the right. A few rounds of deep breath here, so really gaining as much length through that left side as you can. Walk the left hand back. Bring the chest forward, bring the palms together. Now you have a couple of options here. You can either do this, palms come together, elbows stay on the floor, and you sink back into a child's pose, bringing the thumbs back towards the back of the neck and stay here. Or if you want to, you can use your blocks again, set them up where you have them just in front of you. Place one elbow on each block, bring the palms together, sink the hips back, bring the thumbs towards the back of the neck, allow the chest to sink down towards the floor, holding here. You can go about 5 rounds of breath here. Take your time. If you feel like you want to do more, feel free to stop the video and you can always do more. Releasing the hands away from the back of the neck. Remove the blocks out to the side. You're going to make your way onto your back. So finding your way lying down onto the floor, one last stretch. As you lie down on the floor, you can have the feet flat onto the ground or extended down towards the bottom of the mat, reaching the arms up overhead, placing the left palm on top of the right, kind of like a swimmer entering the water, just reaching through the sides and just allowing gravity to take hold of the hands. If the hands don't make it down towards the ground, that's fine. Drawing down in the core, so feeling the spine ground into the mat, lengthen through the sides. Take a few deep breaths here. Nice long exhale. Release the hands, switch them out the other way so the right palm comes on top of the left, lengthen through the sides. Release the arms, bring them back down by your sides. Allow the feet to fall out to the sides. Take one last deep breath in. Exhale, the body just sinks in towards the mat. Feel free to stay here for as long as you want. Maybe just breathing, allowing the body to become heavy. But when you're ready, you can get on with the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. Be sure to subscribe to this channel by clicking the button below. You can also hit the bell so you get notified of any new videos. You can also find me over on Facebook and Instagram. The link for both those pages is in the description below. But anyway, I'll see you again soon.